So yeah, we've started. Hello everyone. We are live. So I'm happy to welcome everyone here. I think that everyone is coming right now and joining us. So we will start. I will try to do it slowly, so everyone who is late can not miss anything. So today we are going to speak about how to increase user loyalty and retention for your application. So, between our experts, it's Lorenzo from REPLUG. Lorenzo is a mobile marketing veteran. He has a unique experience in scaling mobile app marketing activities and retention strategies. Hello, Lorenzo. Please say hi to us.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for the introduction.
And Michael from Qonversion. Michael has an extensive analytical background, and in Qonversion, Michael oversees the creation of churn prevention and data tools for mobile apps, among other things. So, Michael, hello. Happy to welcome.
Hi, Lisa. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
So yeah, and I will tell a little bit later about myself before my part. Hello everyone who is joining. And so, what is the lecture plan? Today we will discuss how communication with users affect their loyalty, then how to increase user retention rate, and how to monetize an app and keep a loyal audience, which is definitely very important. So first is my part. My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Asodesk team, and in Asodesk I'm telling that we do everything so the app of our clients gain more organic installs and stay on top in search results. So I will tell you how communication with users affect their loyalty and what to do to make users more loyal. Hello everyone. Oh, presentation. It somehow disappeared. Okay, we've got it back. So 30 or 44% of consumers who used the app in January were seen in December. So it means that most of the users stop using the app in a month. And you can do everything to bring them back. And I will tell a little bit later that the most important are first 30 days and then 90 days of users being in your application. So a little bit, I want to step back a little bit and tell you about that you can make users loyal even before they download the application. Because according to the researchers, 50% of mobile users won't consider an app with a 3-star rating. That number drops to 80 and to 5% for 2-star rating. In addition, 77% of people read at least one review before downloading a free app. That number jumps to 80% for a paid application. So users, they can increase your app rating if you are working with reviews, and they can reduce your app rating if you don't work with reviews. And here I want to summarize that rating is important, and when users install an application with a good rating, they are more loyal initially. So loyal users who are already using your application can bring more loyal users to your application. Because, for example, when I download an app and I see the rating, which is like 4.8, and I see the reviews, they are good reviews, featured reviews are also great, and I see that the developers answering them, then it's really, when I will have some challenges, some problems with the application, it's really high that I wouldn't put 1 star. Maybe I will put 3 star because I know that developers will answer me, that the application has already great rating. So that's why you need to work with your reviews. And don't forget, it's not about loyalty, it's just about bringing users to your application. Users can use the Google Play search feature that will only show apps with ratings above 4.5. And the search results are total difference when they are doing it. So how exactly can you work with customers through reviews help? So working with customers through review can help you. Retention. So we are talking a little bit, I want to specify about retention in 30 days. So average mobile app retention is 15-20%. And if you are working, if you have proactive consumer engagement, it is 67%. So it increased in 3 times. In 90 days, retention of average mobile app is 20 to 30%, and average 90-day retention rate of 58% is increased of in double. And if you have a productive consumer engagement, use a pop-up. So here, how pop-ups influence on your ratings. On the graphic, you can see the number of reviews when we first released the application, when when it was in the store, and you see that the amount of ratings and reviews reduces little by little. But when we've got the pop-up, and there are several points how you need to do it, I will tell you right now about it. The amount of users rating and reviews increased crucially. So first thing here about pop-ups, use the customized pop-up. You can use different characters from games if you have a game app. You can use different phrases. Just create a really native script for your application, special words how to ask for the review for your customers. And the second one is here that you can ask at the right moment. For example, if you have a subscription for your application and you have a free trial period, it's really it's not great to create a pop-up when users, for example, the free trial is ended, you are asking them to have the subscription, they press no, and then you've got, hello, please leave us a review. Of course, we will have a lot of 1-star rating reviews there. But if, for example, the user create the first photo, or if they've got a new level in a game, anything like that, a positive moment when they're feeling great, use the customized pop-up, and they will bring you a 5-star rating or a great review, like this app is amazing, and so on. So how quickly should you reply? Does it influence on anything? Of course it influences. The faster users receive a response, the more loyal they will be. So here, PlayKey, they tell us that if user problems are solved in less than an hour, customers are 38% more likely to continue using the app, and positive customer support evaluations reach 90%. So just reply your users. If, for example, I want to tell you a little bit more here about on which reviews you should answer. It's really small part. If you would like, we can discuss especially your application in a call with me, but just simple advice for you. If you, for example, have all the 1-star rating reviews should be answered, because users can't create less rating. It's 1 star. They can only change it to 5-star. And sometimes when we are working with bad reviews, we have such a thing that users accidentally change it to 5-star. So, for example, they leave 1-star review, like it's awful, foo. But then we answer it, and the application bring them the pop-up again. Would you like to renew your review? And not usually, rarely, but they can change it to 5-star just by mistake. So, but if they've got like 3-star or maybe 4-star reviews, and you know that you can't solve this problem right now, maybe you need to wait a little bit before you will answer them that I'm sorry, we can't make it right now. Maybe it is better, not maybe, it's better to wait like 2 weeks, for example, if it's a bug and you know that it will be fixed in 2 weeks. Answer them in 2 weeks, the bug is fixed. Please use and tell us, what do you think? And for example, and of course, if they also have like 3-4-star rating and even 1, and you know that this problem will be resolved in couple of days, maybe tomorrow, you can answer them right now, and you need to answer them right now, that please give us a feedback on the email and so on, so to help the user to solve their problem. So how can you speed up response time without missing any comments? Because in here I will tell you a little bit about tools we are working in Asodesk, and we are working with the unicorn companies who have like 1,000 reviews per day, and it's a lot. Of course, not all of them have like 100 people in support and they answer everything, and it's almost impossible to answer and collect all the comments using Google Play Console or App Store account. So, checklist of essential tools that will help you respond for feedback. Here I will tell that one of the most important is templates and auto replies. When you are using auto replies on small reviews, I will want to tell you a little bit more on this screen. So when you have like, we have here a filter by characters, and it's important to use them. So for example, when you have filter with 10 characters, you can create the auto reply that if it's positive, like thank you, and maybe if it's a game, you can use characters like thank you, some of, I don't know, Iron Man says hello to you, and so on. So it will be template, it will be automized, but it will be special for your customer. If not, you need to, like, you can create the filter by charts, like maybe 100 of syllables in the review, and you can analyze them if it's 3-star rating and so on. You can also filter by different tags. You can also analyze here which reviews, and it is also important to analyze which reviews became worse and which reviews became better. So to in case to analyze your working of your support department. And yeah, let's go further. Reviews and rating analysis. Here you need to analyze which version is working better. For example, you can analyze the year and understand where users are leaving more 5-star ratings, where 1-star, what we've done right, what we've done wrong in like your, maybe you create a strategy for the next year, you are thinking about updates in your application. Analyze your users' feedback, because your users, they are most important, they bring you income, that's why listen to them. And of course by countries, maybe in France, for example, you have 5-star ratings, and in Italy maybe you have 3-star ratings. So you can analyze what you are doing correct in France and what you're doing wrong in Italy, and improve the situation. So we can give you all these instruments for free for 7 days. You can try all our tools, and yeah, you can just create a strategy for your for increasing your rating, and you can have a call. We can talk about your application. We can create a special strategy for your application, so you can once again increase your rating and have more reviews, just like that, more positive reviews, which is important. Useful information, a little bit of useful information. We've got hacks for working with the reviews. 33 hacks. It's really interesting. We've we have really big community in Asodesk, and we collect all the things which our experts use in there when they are doing their strategy for applications. So just read it. We have a lot of interest in more guys there. And community. We have Slack community. We discuss useful news in different topics. Actually everything which is connected to mobile market and mobile developing. So yeah, you can click on the banner here to join us. Thanks everyone. I'm giving the floor to Lorenzo. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. You can just write Elizabeth and the question, and I will understand that it is for me.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
So give.
Thanks for starting talking about the importance of retention, because it's actually why we are here. And before to start with the presentation, like I would like, of course, a couple of words regarding myself and regarding REPLUG. I am Lorenzo. I'm from Italy, as you might hear, and I'm one of the 2 co-founders of REPLUG. REPLUG is a mobile marketing agency. We define ourselves as marketing experts, and we help companies scale their mobile marketing activity. We have been around for a couple of years now. We are already quite happy about our achievements. We work with some nice brands, and that's it with self-promotion, I promise. Since it's not the first time that I'm speaking at some Asodesk webinars, I would like to make a step back and to see what we have discussed actually last time. Last time we were talking about paid UA, and we have seen that in the good old times, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 years ago, 2017, 2018, in the mobile kingdom, there was a king that was paid UA, right? If you had money, you could spend this budget and achieve great results. Then we have seen, of course, that during the past 2 years, many things have happened. Talking about COVID-19 and iOS 14, those happening like created big challenges for the app marketers, rising acquisition costs, and basically a radical change in the mobile kingdom. We have seen that now paid UA it's not enough anymore alone. That's why at the center of the kingdom there is the app growth as a concept, and around there are the different areas which are offline activities, app store optimization, paid UA, of course UX and UI, but most importantly CRM, which is the topic of today. Is this the topic of today because mobile CRM is one of the, if not the most important tool to help app marketers increase the user engagement and the retention. So today together we will see those 5 trends that here at REPLUG we have identified as important for increasing engagement and retention. Of course, there would be so many more things to speak about, but time is limited, so we will try to be focused only on those 5. The first one is something that it's probably common to everyone, but it's always important to start from here. We need to segment our audience. We need to segment the user base based on different parameters. Here below you can see a couple of examples of the parameters that we can use. Of course, like the user preferences are important. I'm thinking about an e-commerce app, for example, right? So when the user registers, you have the opportunity to ask the preferences about brands, about styles, about all these kind of things. And with the CRM tools, we can actually record these kind of preferences that can be used later. Of course, like the app activities is very important to segment the user base because you can see which user is doing which action and then again create clusters of users. You have the monetary value that is always very important to identify different users. And last but not least in this list is the frequency and recency, because of course, like you have active users, inactive users, users that are doing actions more often than others. And all those parameters needs to be used to segment and to create clusters. This is the first trend. The second big important thing to consider is connected to the first one, of course, because it's like to use different strategies for different users. What does it mean? It means that creating clusters and segmenting the user base, it's not enough if then you don't differentiate also the communication. That's why it's so important to, it's very important to understand that not all the users behave the same. I'm thinking, for example, we have clients in the grocery delivery space, and we see that they are not all, the users are not using the app at the same time. I have the habit to use it in the evening, but maybe there are other people who like to do the grocery shopping in the morning. So we should be able to send the messages at the time that the users are most likely to use the app in order to maximize the engagement. So differentiate those messages, those strategies based on the parameters that we have seen before. So app behavior, app usage, monetary value, but also frequency of usage, like kind of money power that the user have, right? So give different discounts. And this is very important because we see very well that if we actually use different communication strategies, the users engage better, engage more, and of course the retention is also improving. Third point that is important to consider is the one of being helpful to the users. We see more and more like some app developers, some marketers that are just asking for money from the user. What does it mean? It means that they are just asking the users to buy, subscribe, buy again, do this and do that. It works in the short time, but like in the long term, it's getting if you're only asked as a user for money, in the end you won't be so loyal anymore, right? So we strongly recommend to send also some interesting things, some interesting statistics. For example, with one of our clients operating in the wine delivery industry, we send informations about the wine consumptions, something like 90% of our users love this kind of wine, while another type of wine is preferred during the weekend. This is a way to create interest in products without actually asking the user to buy directly. So it's something more light, so to say, in terms of communication. And also remember for a mobility app that we were working with, like we sent during a marathon here in Berlin, we sent an information to the user just saying that some roads were closed, so they should have taken other directions. So these kind of informations are highly appreciated, and the users in this way are more engaging and in to stay with your service. Of course, another interesting thing to do with your users is to ask for opinion, not only to the good users, but also to the bad users. And in this way, users feel important and they, again, most likely stick with your product. So again, third point, like don't just ask for money, don't chase conversion, but try to be nice and useful. The fourth point in the list is instead the one of trying to exploit and really use the referral programs. What do I mean? Like, I mean that there are so many app developers that are not realizing this big weapon in terms of retention, engagement, but also in getting new users. Because we probably have a nice user base, a nice base of users that actually love our product, and we should use them in terms of asking them to promote your product. We should make them promoters of our product. We have seen, for example, with one of our clients, Photo-C, we have seen that implementing a real referral program strategy, so really aim to ask the good users to be promoters for your app, we have seen that in total, we achieved like between 13 and 50% of the new orders were coming from referred users. So this is really important because like those are free users, and also you make your best user even happier because you can offer something in case they refer your app. So 4 point, use referral programs, really they can be very powerful. Fifth and last point is the suggestion of surprising the users. What does it mean? It means that we should be trying to be original, to be personal, and to be funny sometimes, because I'm receiving discounts every day via push notification, and in the end, they are always the same. So all the apps can send discounts, and of course, they are highly appreciated, but discounts don't create retention or loyalty. Discounts like increase the conversion, right? I'm thinking about trying to be personal, like we sent, with Qonversion, we sent an email with the photo of the team saying, hey, come back, the team is missing you. So these kind of things are really touching the users. So you can have a different approach that can increase the loyalty and bring the user back. Of course, still below this list, like you have the important birthdays, the important days. So we should be always, if we have the information of the user's birthday, we should always send happy birthday, or if it's the recurrence of the first order, we should say it's 1 year that you are with us. This is a discount. Thanks for being with us. So always try to surprise. Oh, wow, nice. This app just sent me birthday wishes. So these kind of things are always working very well. Last thing that we see in this point, like, is the gamification. Including gamification can work very well for like keeping the users engaged. I'm thinking about, like, again, delivery apps, but also gaming apps, of course. All kind of apps can have some kind of gamification, like rewarding the users for the actions that they do inside the app. If you register, if you complete your registration, we will give you 10 points, or just saying to the users, like saying, hey, you are the most active user of the week. So the user feels engaged, and of course they will be keen on coming back and using even more your product. So those are kind of 5 points to keep in mind if we want to increase loyalty and engagement. And you would tell me, like, is that simple? It's, I mean, it is simple, but it's a plan that needs to be done. And just to make it a bit more simple, here at REPLUG we identified like 5 don'ts and 5 do's to execute better the strategy. In terms of things that we shouldn't do, first of all, in every action that you do in terms of engagement and CRM, we should always remember to set specific goals. So don't forget to set specific goals, possibly monetary, give a value to your activities. And still, for the CRM campaigns, we shouldn't look only at the open rates and click rates, because those are vanity metrics. It's nice if people click on your push notification, but still it's nicer if then they convert. We shouldn't also mix the goals. Like, we need to tackle one goal at a time. We need to identify like the important events for our app, and then start creating one campaign for each goal. Then things that we see happening more and more, like since we have a mobile app, we believe that emails are not important, but instead, if you have the email address, it's always good to send emails to the users, because it's increasing the reach. Remember, not all the users can receive push notifications. And so I don't, just a second, I don't see the screen anymore. And of course, like, it's very important not to stress the users, right? Because this is something that we usually do. Like, I receive sometimes push notification, 2-3 push notifications from the same app in the same day. And this is something that we need to remember not to do so often. In terms of do's, like, very simple, like a bit opposite of the things that we shouldn't do, like use multi-channel campaigns. Again, remember about the emails, and push notification plus in-app messages and emails give you a lot of reach. In terms of user data, like, we should try to collect as many data as possible, because the more you know about your users, the more you can personalize the messages. And then, of course, as we have seen, segment your audience, but seriously, segment. Don't just shoot in the crowd with your users. Like, send specific messages, send messages that are personalized. Of course, it's very important to sleep, test, and repeat, because you need to test everything. And last point is to work in framework. What does it mean? Only if we work in framework, we will be able to optimize our activities and get the best out of it. Just to wrap it up, like, we created this kind of framework at REPLUG, and we use it for all the CRM activities. It's working very well. It's simple. It's 5 steps. We always start from an audit. We should always start from the analysis of the current activities, defining goals, defining the UX and UI, analyzing how the tech stack it is. So this is like an assessment phase where we see in which point we are standing. Then after the audit, we create a strategy, which channels, which messages, which goals to put to your activities. And then after the second step, like, there is an ongoing process that starts with the implementation of the campaigns, the analysis of the results, and optimization. And this should be a process that is never ending in CRM activities to increase the engagement and the user loyalty. And that was it.
A little bit. So thank you, Lorenzo. Very a lot of so useful
Thank you, Lisa.
information with
Thank you.
always, like always. So thank you so much. Once again, guys, if you have any questions, just write in chat, please. And Michael, welcome you here. So I give the floor to you right now.
Yeah, thank you. So once again, I'm Michael. I'm co-founder and CEO of Qonversion. Qonversion is the platform for mobile apps with subscriptions. Qonversion allows quick and app subscription implementation, provide accurate subscription analytics, thanks to server-side receipt validation, and some tools to increase retention and battle churn, among other things that we do. So let's dive in. Today, I'm happy to share some thoughts on retention and churn prevention. But mostly my presentation is, of course, focused on apps that use subscriptions for monetization, since these are the apps that we mostly work with and that mostly use our platform. So probably the most crucial metrics for any subscription app are lifetime value, retention rate, and the opposite of the retention rate is churn rate. And identifying, measuring, and understanding these metrics is essential for like app growth strategy. So the main questions about the churn. What is your churn rate? At what point subscribers are churning? What are the reasons for churn? And what can be done to reduce the churn? Without answering these questions, you are risking wasting your time chasing some random strategies, and you can even make things worse. For example, if you are not measuring churn and your lifetime value and you start changing pricing, some features in your app, you can be losing revenue in the long run without even realizing it. So let's look at these questions one by one and try to answer them. So like the starting point here is defining the churn. And I'll use the simplest definition and the simplest formula there is. Customer churn is a percentage of customers that stopped using your service during a certain time frame. You can calculate churn rate by dividing the number of customers lost during the time period, let's say a month, by the number of customers you had at the beginning of that time period. For example, if you start a month with, let's say, 400 customers and ended with 380 customers, your monthly churn is 5%. So very straightforward way to calculate this. And churn is directly affecting your subscriber lifetime value. After all, probably it's like the most important metric of your app, and you should be focusing on maximizing the LTV. It needs to be higher than your subscriber acquisition cost so you can grow your app profitably. And the most basic LTV formula is the subscription price divided by the churn rate. You can immediately see from that formula that the higher the churn rate, the lower your LTV is. And this is why measuring and reducing churn is so important. But a simple formula that I showed here works only in case of linear churn. So when the percentage of churning subscribers is the same for every billing period. And of course, the reality is more complex. Linear and calculating LTV can be a little bit trickier. I have actually written a detailed article on calculating subscription LTV. I'm not going to dive into the details here. You can just find this article using this QR code on this slide, and there is even an Excel spreadsheet in this blog post which you can use to actually estimate your LTV using App Store historical data, or even build the forecast for your LTV with just several historical data points. Important question is at what point the subscribers are churning. As I mentioned, the actual mobile subscriber churn rate is not linear. Subscribers leave at a higher rate in the first billing periods. Here is a sample churn curve for a monthly subscription plan. Our data shows that the median churn rate after the first billing period is 42%, declining gradually with every month after that. One of the ideas that comes to my mind when thinking about this data is more important to focus on decreasing the churn in the first several billing periods. It provides higher leverage compared to targeting later periods. And another important metric to monitor is free trials cancellation rate. So providing free trials has proved to be effective, at least within consumer subscription space. And our data shows that subscription plans that offer a free trial drive like 70% of the total app's revenue that monetize with subscriptions. So the question whether you need to calculate this trial cancellation rate and include it in your churn metric somehow, and actually the answer is it's up to you. But the truth about the free trials on the app stores is that though they are very effective, more than 50% are being canceled. And we have issued subscription benchmark report at Qonversion that shows, for example, that 40% of trials are being canceled within the first 24 hours after the trial start. From 70 to 85% of trials do not convert into paying subscribers. So there is massive opportunity to increase your subscriber base by addressing customer churn during a trial period. And now let's have a look at the churn reasons. It's important, first of all, it's important to distinguish between voluntary and involuntary churn. When a user cancels a subscription or a trial, that is voluntary churn. But a significant share of churn is attributed to billing issues. A user didn't cancel a subscription, but the App Store wasn't able to charge user's payment method to renew subscription or to convert the trial into paying subscriber. Our data shows that at least 10% of churn is due to billing issues. The levels of involuntary churn vary significantly from country to country, and the tactics to address this type of churn are different compared to those that tackles voluntary churn. In Qonversion, we do provide accurate data on all subscription status changes, including events like subscription billing retry, subscription cancellation, trial billing retry, and trial cancellation, so you can at least easily distinguish voluntary and involuntary churn. So once you have the accurate data on changes to a subscription status, let's say, you can automate customer communication using this data. For example, using Qonversion, you can detect events like subscription billing retry almost in real time, and then you can trigger a push notification or send a personalized email to that user to try winning him back. Qonversion provides push notifications, webhooks to build any custom logic on your side, and integrations with MailChimp and OneSignal to communicate with clients with billing issues or those clients who are canceling trials or subscriptions. And let's have a look at the example of involuntary churn communication. You want to remind the user to fix his payment method with Apple and Google or other payment method if they, for example, paying through Stripe. Here is on this slide, I'm just showing an example of such communication from Grammarly. Essentially, they're pointing to the fact that they haven't been able to receive the payment, and they are providing the link to update billing details. In cases when your users are deciding to cancel a trial subscription, you can follow next steps. So this is the voluntary churn scenario, right? You can poll your churning customers for cancellation reasons. So first you need to detect the cancellation event, and then you can send the push notification and show an app screen asking for the cancellation reason. After that, you can provide a discount, for example, and by the way, you can set up such campaigns in Qonversion. So once you collect the responses and rank the cancellation reasons, you can address the most important of them. So for example, if your users cancel because the price is too high, you should be experimenting with price and duration of an app subscriptions that you are offering. If there are some features lacking, then you obviously need to consider adding those features. But in general, you need to poll your users to understand the main reasons behind the cancellations and address those that are most popular with your users. Basically, that's it from my side. That's the main facts to know about retention, churn, and how to battle it specifically for subscription apps. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, Lisa, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really interesting and so complicated, all this churn stuff. So I think you clarify everything for everyone here. So guys, thanks a lot for webinar. Thanks a lot, of course, to our experts. If you've got any questions, we can answer them. If you are not ready to tell your question right now, you can find us in Slack community, which I've shown you before, and we can answer them. You, of course, will have the copies of the presentations. And we will send them by emails for everyone who is registered for the webinar. And thank you one more time. It was happy to see all of you here today.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.